What's going on, Jerome's? Your Minnesota Vikings are 11-3. They have secured the NFC North division, and they are currently the 2 seed in the NFC. They have the inside track. They control their own destiny. If they win out, even if San Francisco wins out, which they very much might do, Vikings secure the 2 seed, and you're good to go there. But all of the narratives still, because it's the Vikings, are, hey, it's a fun team. They're overachieving, but they're fraudulent. They're overrated. They're this, that, and the other thing. And there's tons of articles out there. There's one on ESPN Insider this morning. Not even going to give it the time of day or dignity of going through it. But basically, it called the Vikings frauds. I absolutely did. And, I mean, to a degree, like, you kind of understand where they're coming from. I mean, the Vikings have won all of these one-score games. The Vikings had to come back, the greatest comeback in NFL history against a 4-8-1 Colts team, where they got down 33-0 at halftime. But also, don't care. Don't care at all. Like, I don't care what the hell has happened in the Vikings' 3 losses. They got woodshedded by the Eagles week 2. That was a long time ago. They got their asses handed to them week 11 by the Cowboys. Well, I keep bringing up old stuff. And then they lost to the Lions, who are now 7-7 and playing some damn good football. But whatever. Like, all of the talk is like, hey, last year when the Vikings were losing all these close games, and we were trying to make the case that, hey, the Vikings are the best XYZ record team in NFL history, it was always, you are what your record says you are. It doesn't matter how close those games are. It doesn't matter this or that or the other thing. Did you win or did you lose? And then this season, all of a sudden, oh, now style points matter. And now it's like the old school BCS. Like, hey, margin of victory. Like, I had never heard of margin of victory talked about so much before this season. I really hadn't. Where it's like the 17th, well, not 17th. It's like the 6th or 7th tiebreaker when it comes to playoff seeding. So it's quasi-important. But the way that it has just been harped on over and over and over again. Oh, the Vikings, blah, 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 blah. No team with 10-plus wins or 11-plus wins has this low of a margin of victory. And just blah, 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 blah. Don't care. Do not care. Because sometimes in sports, things defy meaning. Oh, and by the way, how come when the Cowboys barely beat the Texans, or when the Cowboys lose to the Jaguars, or the Chiefs barely beat the Texans also, or the Chiefs, they barely win all these close games, like, how come everyone and their mom is kissing their ass, like, oh. Or hell, the Eagles, by the way, the Vikings beat the Colts by 3, the Eagles beat the Colts by 1. So what do you want? So all of these other teams around the league, they can win these close games, and then they get credit, and then they get their asses kissed. But the Vikings get their asses kicked when they're winning all these close ones. So I don't get it, man. I don't get it. But there's things in sports that sometimes defy logic. And I think that this Vikings team could and should be one of them, where they're getting it done, and they're getting punched in the mouth. They come back in the fourth quarter. They just find, when they need a play, they find a play, whether it's offense, whether it's defense, whether it's special teams. And I'm not ready to say that this is going to be it. But there is so many weird-ass things surrounding this football team that when they go into the playoffs, are you telling me that can't happen a couple more times? Like, yes, you are going to be facing good teams in the playoffs. I mean, yeah, you may get the Lions week 1. The Lions may squirm into the 7th seed, and then you have that revenge game narrative going on. But can the Vikings take care of business against the Lions? Yes. Yes, I think they certainly could. They did earlier in the season. And then into the next one, it's like, the Vikings against the red-hot Niners in the divisional round. Right? Are the Vikings going to be able to control things? Can they stop Brock Purdy? Like, can they actually do something on that defense? Sure. And then you have the rematch again, potentially. The Eagles, maybe, in Philly. Philly, NFC title game. Or against the Cowboys, hosting them. Yeah, what could go wrong there? But don't worry about it. Really don't worry about it. Where, whatever happens this season. And I know that it's both easy to believe and extremely frustrating to believe at the same time. But let this thing play out. On any given day, any given way, this team just seems to get it done. And it's just been so weird. It really has been. But once the Vikings get to the playoffs, who's to say that that can't happen 4 more times? Or, the Vikings win the Super Bowl on the last-second field goal, then all the haters and losers will talk about margin of victory. I was like, oh, they only won by a point. Sure. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings 11-3, still ain't getting no respect, but that's fine. If they hate, let them hate, and watch the money pile up. Let us know your thoughts, our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.